New rules are causing confusion and frustration for travelers. The measures are meant to slow the international spread of the Omicron variant. CTV's Binder Sudjan has more on what you need to know before getting on a plane or driving across the border for a short trip.
At airports, there's Omicron confusion.
It's very complicated for both passengers and also for the crew of the airlines.
Thanks to the COVID-19 variant, how you travel is once again changing.
If you are a Canadian and you're traveling or you're leaving any Canadian airport, you need to be vaccinated.
Anyone 2 years old and older flying to the U.S. needs a negative COVID-19 test a day before leaving. Many airports like YVR have testing on site that can get you results in as quick as 30 minutes, but it will cost you.
So there are lots of options for people that they can book ahead for to get their necessary test to get into the U.S.
If flying anywhere else, check that country's entry requirements. To get back into Canada, no matter how long you've been gone for, you must use the ArriveCAN app, which has been causing some turbulence.
MPs have received hundreds of complaints about this, Mr. Speaker, and Canadians deserve reasonable accommodation at their own land border.
Several people say the app's too hard to navigate, others that border agents were inflexible. And so some were slapped with quarantine orders for not filling out the app correctly.
That I've spoken with the CBSA so that there's additional guidance to provide the opportunity for travelers to provide the information that is necessary on ArriveCAN in person at the borders.
Anyone 5 and older also needs a negative test within 3 days of their flight. Everyone except those arriving from the U.S. will be tested at the airport. The fully vaccinated can quarantine at home until they are cleared. The unvaccinated will need to quarantine for 2 weeks at a designated facility.
If we are having a busy time, a peak period, then in some of those cases, people will be given a take-home kit to facilitate their flow through the airport.
If your trip to the U.S. is less than 72 hours, you don't need a negative test to get back in, but you could still be subject to a random test.
Stressful.
Under or unvaccinated kids will have to be tested at the airport and on day 8, and they will also need to stay at home from public settings, including school, for 14 days. Binder Sudjan, CTV News, Victoria.